was a child, my favorite story was about a man who lived forever, but whose eyes were heavy with the weight of all he'd seen.
That accent though. Ourselves a bit of a cyborg. Terminator type. Whoa.
There's one more, the doctor.
Oh. Woo. Nice transition. Ooh, look at the color grading. I'm liking it. Okay.
It's a street lamp.
An electric street lamp?
Yeah, it shouldn't be here.
Too early.
It's only a few years out.
That's what you said when you left your phone charger in Henry VIII's ensuite.
Ah! This dude. He's doing all of it, isn't he?
Tea. But the strong stuff. Leave the bag in.
Is you an alien?
Well, bit personal. It's all relative, isn't it? I mean, I think you're the aliens, but in this context, yes. Yes, I suppose I am.
And yeah. And stay out. They've had their run-ins with aliens from the looks of it.
He's coming. Oh God, he's coming. Thy kingdom come.
Hey.
Thy will be done.
An alien doctor.
Dr. Alien.
Let him go like that. Seeing you, boy.
I do love a Western.
What was that outside?
The gunslinger.
Gunslinger.
I think the time for subterfuge has passed.
Whoa. Hello. He'll recognize that
Afternoon.
symbol.
My name is Carla Jex.
Similar shot to the silence, right? Or the silent. The one Amy sees.
So why does the gunslinger want you?
It don't matter.
I'm just saying, if we knew that.
America's the land of second chances.
Hmm.
We call this town Mercy for a reason.
Ah.
Did you try to repair your craft? Surely someone with your skills.
It really was very badly damaged.
May I have a look?
You okay? Yeah, fine. Yeah, keep moving.
Great costume design as well, of course.
Next time, you get to wear Jex's clothes.
Location shoot as well, of course.
What? I speak horse. He's called Susan.
Ah.
And he wants you to respect his life choices.
Are you a father?
Yes. In a way, I suppose I am.
Okay, elaborate. Ah. Is that actually Matt? Oh wow, beautiful shot. Look at this.
I know we're in a hurry. I just want to check something out.
That wasn't Matt, was it? That's Matt. Ooh.
Yes, good point, Susan. Where is the damage?
Yeah. That's a good shot. Yeah, but it's a tough one to take for the doctor. The imagery that he's seeing. Was that doctor caught up in some... Yeah.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
I know who you are. And who Jex is, too.
He made him?
Look, you want justice. You deserve justice, but this isn't the way. We can put him on trial. We can...
When he starts killing your people, you can use your justice.
Shh, this is my justice.
I'll kill the next person to step over that line. Make sure it's Jex.
Doctor's been experimenting.
Every word. Everything he says.
Ooh. Oh.
Lies. Sit down! Tell them
He's
what
us.
you are.
What am I? A war hero.
The gunslinger is a cyborg.
A what?
Half man, half machine. A weapon.
that he made.
Jax built it. He and his team took volunteers, told them they'd be selected for special training, then experimented on them, fused their bodies with weaponry, and programmed them to kill.
To beg forgiveness for saving millions of lives.
How many died screaming on the operating table before you had found your advantage?
War is another world. You cannot apply the politics of peace to what I did, to what any of us did.
Another solution. It's him or us.
Why do we start letting people get executed? Did I miss a memo? Doctor, tell him.
Yes. I don't know.
Looking at you, Doctor, is like looking into a mirror.
Yeah.
Almost. There's rage there, like me. Guilt, like me. Solitude. Everything but the nerve to do what needs to be done.
No! But these people are out!
Whew. Look at this.
Oh, you're really letting him do this.
Save us all? Yeah,
I really am.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Okay.
I genuinely don't know.
Doctor. Doctor.
Hey.
Let him come back, Doctor.
Or what?
Maybe I've changed. I mean, you've clearly been taking stupid lessons since I saw you last.
What's happened to you, Doctor? When did killing someone become an option?
Jax has to answer for his crime. But they keep coming back, don't you see? Every time I negotiate, I try to understand. Well, not today, no. Today, I honor the victims first. His, the Masters, the Daleks, all the people who died because of my mercy.
This is what happens when you travel alone for too long. Well, listen to me, Doctor. We can't be like him. We have to be better than him.
Last chance. Make peace with your gods.
No!
Oh. There's a new sheriff in town, eh? Marshall.
You've got until noon tomorrow. Give him to me,
Bah.
or I'll kill you all.
Marshall? Ma'am? Fella?
Fella. A few questions, perhaps? He's looking the part. Playing the part.
We don't got any ill feeling toward the doc. We just think about our families. Hand him over and we all safe again.
It's realistic.
That's how all this started. Jax turned someone into a weapon. Now that same story is going to make you a killer too. Don't you see, violence doesn't end violence. It
Creates
extends
more.
it.
Hate breeds hate. Retaliation breeds retaliation. Nicely handled, Doc.
Frighten people. Give me a Dalek any day.
Isaac made you Marshal for a reason. And if you're good enough for him, you're good enough for me. Reckon you should know that.
Oh, no, he's gonna knock him out. Okay, never mind. I thought he was gonna go
Boy,
pop.
get out of it. Justice doesn't work like that. You don't get to decide when and how your debt is paid.
I mean, yeah, he.
You won't. We all carry our prisons with us.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, Doctor knows all about it.
Past. Yours is your morality.
We all carry our prisons with us.
High noon.
Ready?
Okay.
I will find you.
I don't doubt that. You'll chase me to another planet. And another race will be caught in the crossfire.
Self-destruct.
Face me!
And now? Does it feel any different?
He behaved with honor at the end. Maybe more than me. I'm a creature of war. I have no role to play during peace.
Maybe to protect it.
Ah, here you go. The new sheriff.
As a man once said, America is a land of second chances.
Yeah, Isaac. the late Isaac.
Do I believe the story? I don't know. My great-grandmother must have been a little girl when he arrived. Like they got their own special angel watching out for him. Their very own angel who fell from the stars.
Ha! Okay, so my first Doctor Who Western. Good old-fashioned, right? Yeah, it was only a matter of time before it kind of lands in this setting, in this time period. And, you know, speaking of the setting, before I do kind of get into some of the story elements, yeah, it's quite authentic, isn't it? You know, clearly a location shoot, quite a beautiful one as well. And, you know, they did a great job utilizing the location. And I'm probably going to go ahead and assume even that this is Spain, most likely, right? Because a lot of the all-time greats, or some of the greatest Westerns of all time, have been filmed there, right? So it was reminiscent of some of that. So yeah, you know, it's great to see it. You see the budget. You certainly see the budget on screen in this one, for sure. You know, the look of it, it was really quite authentic. You know, I mentioned the costume design as well, but also, you know, on the writing side of things, yes, maybe it felt a little bit tropey at times. You know, a lot of cliches, or cliche after cliche even. Now, you know, I'm not sure if that is deliberate, you know, like they're really leaning into it, kind of trying to be a bit meta about it, or maybe if it's, or maybe because it's a British production, so, you know, it really leans into a lot of those tropes. Though, you know, that being said, I feel like a lot of them are still quite charming, right? Some of the cliches are still quite charming, you know, and they've been around for a long, long time. The stereotypes or the cliches of a Western, they still have a charm about them, don't they? But, you know, it's quite enjoyable. You know, this setting, the Western, essentially, it's really one of my favorites in film. So anytime I get a chance to kind of, you know, experience that in other forms of storytelling, you know, television or gaming, it's always a treat, you know, because it allows for a really specific or particular set of elements, right? The score has to be really quite specific. You know, of course, the setting itself, the costume design, the whole mood of it, you know, it's just something I've always enjoyed on screen. So it was great to see the Doctor and the Pawns in that setting as well then. And yes, you know, great to see the Pawns. Though I've got to say, you know, Rory's stance in this one is a bit of a head scratcher, isn't it? You know, Rory, the nurse, you know, his stance, and, you know, a bit of a butting of heads, essentially, you know, her and Amy, because Rory does agree with the Doctor at first, though it could easily be Rory considering you know, the needs of the many and the needs of the few, right? That angle to all of it. But yeah, you know, I must admit, at first I was kind of like, huh, Rory? You know, in my mind, I was like, this is not really the Rory I know. So to me, it even kind of felt like, you know, they're trying to kind of divide Rory and Amy on this issue. And then, of course, Amy is the one who kind of comes in and kind of reels the Doctor back in, pulls him back in, you know, reminding the Doctor that they have to be better, right? Though, you know, I'm not trying to take a shot at Amy or anything, but, you know, not too long ago in the series 6 finale, she took out Madam K, right? I can't remember the full name, so I'm just going to say Madam K. But I thought, you know, this presentation of the Doctor, especially coming off of the last episode, right? Him taking out or kind of sentencing Solomon, right? Yeah, I think, you know, from time to time, this is needed. This is needed, you know, a reminder that, you know, this being, this Time Lord, is good because he chooses to be good, right? That's the type of person he is. But, you know, he's essentially at all times perhaps 2 steps from, you know, taking a much darker approach, right? You see here that some of that Time Lord victorious side of him, it's kind of leaking through once again, you know, some semblance of it at least, a reminder, right? And of course, Amy surmised that, oh, okay, this is the reason he needs companions. This is the reason, you know, he shouldn't be traveling alone, and shouldn't be left to his own thoughts for too long, right? He's had a lot of time to himself, that's for sure. right? But yeah, I thought it was a fascinating watch. It was really quite compelling to see the Doctor like this. It usually is quite compelling to see this side of the Doctor as well. A bit of that darker side of the Doctor, and Matt Smith. Whew, damn, he's good. He's good. He's good at portraying this darker side of the Doctor. Perhaps the best out of the ones I've seen so far. Out of Tennant and Eccleston, both of them are really quite fantastic in their own right. But I think Matt Smith, once the contrast of his goofy nature, his goofy, playful nature, to then have this side of him come out, it is jarring. It is jarring, but it does kind of make you sit up in your seat, doesn't it? Because again, Matt Smith is just a fantastic actor, right? So yeah, it was interesting, really interesting to see him like this. Like he really goes past his boiling point because of this other Doctor, Jex, who our Doctor can certainly kind of relate to, even if it's not the good kind of relate, right? You could tell, you could see the internal struggle. You could see, it doesn't have to be spelled out, right? Subtext, that is the function of subtext. So yeah, a lot of parallels there. Jex himself kind of even alludes to it. It's kind of like holding a mirror to myself, looking at you, because he recognizes a lot of the same demeanor, a lot of the same elements. So yeah, it is an uncomfortable one for the Doctor, a reminder of some of his own actions in the Time War. Now listen, I don't have enough information about this topic. It's been brought up here and there. But, I don't think you can really classify the Doctor, our Doctor, as a war criminal, right? My understanding of it has been that, he did that, the whole time locking aspect, to protect the rest of the universe, right? So, at no point have I ever thought that, he's a war criminal or anything. And, I think one of the reasons the Doctor is so agitated by this other Doctor, Jex, is because, yeah, he's right, man. It is kind of like holding a mirror, right? And I feel like as time has gone on, the Doctor, our Doctor, is, he's almost kind of disgusted by people that remind him of himself, right? Anytime he sees himself in some of these, reprehensible people, or I don't know, beings or aliens, it's always a reminder to him, the things he's capable of and the things he's done in the past. There's actually a really interesting moment, isn't there? As Jex states that the politics of peace cannot be applied to war, as it's a totally different universe, that it exists in this bubble. So yet another aspect that really does resonate. Even if it is a bit uncomfortable for the Doctor, it does kind of relate to him as well there, right? That sometimes these actions are required, right? That it is a different universe, a different world. War, that is. And yeah, he did his share, right? But isn't it quite the sight? The fury of the Doctor of the 11th, Matt Smith. Woo, he really gets agitated. This is around the time the other Doctor, Jex, mentions that they carry, or that everyone carries their prisons with them at all times. And yours is your morality, right? Woo. That one cut deep. And it cut so deep because he knows there's truth in that. And of course, there's a really great moment later as Amy is trying to get the Doctor to step down, reel him back in. He mentions that today I'm going to honor the people that died because I showed mercy, right? So you see, that really got to him as well. But yeah, I've got to say, I enjoyed that aspect of it, the moral dilemma at the heart of this story. Civilized justice or lawless vengeance or revenge, right? So yeah, I thought that was a bit surprising, based on the setup. The opening of the episode, the cold open, I thought it was going to go into a totally different direction, but no, as it played out, I was like, yeah, interesting approach and subject matter to cover here. And I believe the character of Jex actually might be based on a Nazi, right? Joseph something. You'll have to, let me know if you know the name. I'm sure many of you know. I just can't remember the last name. But all of that being said, I feel like Dr. Jex's self-destruct penance even if it is out of self-pity and pride even, I feel like it does kind of render a lot of the discussion earlier in the middle of the act about, morality and justice a bit pointless, doesn't it? Right? Because it effectively relieved the Doctor and the gunslinger, right? The cyborg, of taking any decisive action, right? And in that sense, you see that the cyborg is kind of robbed of, the potential for justice or mercy as well. So I don't know, man. I could have. Part of me thought maybe there could be a bit of a darker ending. The cyborg does get its justice, but after getting it, perhaps it might not feel how I thought it was going to feel, right? I thought it could have taken that angle as well, but it took a different approach. But yeah, overall, I think this is a step up from the last episode. It has a lot of enjoyable elements for sure, right? Even if a lot of the elements might be a bit on the nose, right? A bit tropey or cliche. I thought it was still a bit more enjoyable than the last episode, especially because the setting is really right up my alley as well, right? The Western, and of course, there's some fun moments as well, some funny moments. Their initial arrival in the town of Mercy, it's full of a lot of fun moments, right? The Doctor really leaning into that persona, grabs a toothpick and puts it in his mouth. Give me a tea, leave the tea bag in. Yeah, and then later you see the other side of the Doctor, right? That contrast is really quite effective, isn't it? And Matt Smith is just so good. Just so good. He really is. But yeah, that's about it for this one, folks. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments. Give me your thoughts. If you're interested in early access or perhaps even full length, consider checking out the Patreon page. The links are in the description and the pinned comment. Right then, thank you for joining me and thank you for your time, as time is precious. And I do hope to see you again soon for the next one. Until then, take it easy.